Pretty Nerdz. 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 Pretty Nerdz.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Pretty Nerdz podcast. This is your girl Falan DeAnn.
And this is your girl Nay.
How are you enjoying this winter storm?
Horrible. I'm over it already. I can't wait for the snow to finish, be done with. I hate when people get on there and try to joke on the South and oh y'all barely getting any snow, blah blah blah. Hello. It's not about the snow, it's about the goddamn ice. And the fact that we barely have 5 or 6, maybe 2, 3 couple snow plows, and they can get the snow off, but that doesn't do nothing for that damn ice. You just have to wait for it to get warm enough for it to melt, so the roads are just a mess. I mean, it's a hot mess. Literally, nobody could leave the house today because the ice, the freaking roads are still so jacked up here in my county. It's a mess. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have some better luck where people can actually leave the house, but it was a hot mess today. What about yourself?
Yeah, it was crazy. I went outside. Of course, I'm not enjoying it. I'm like, why did y'all wish this? I hate people that be on social media I can't wait for the winter. Who the fuck can't wait for the winter? And why you in the South can't wait for the winter? Move. Don't be wishing this type of weather on us. But leaving outside my apartment, it's cars just now today that are able to move. People literally had to leave their cars and walk to their apartments.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Because it was so much, and it's just snow here. We didn't get a lot of freezing rain or anything like that, but it's just so much of it. I'm I've never seen this much snow at one time ever since I've been aware.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's if people don't believe in global warming, all this crazy weather should tell y'all global warming is 100% real. Because when the hell have you ever known for it to snow the way it has snowed in freaking Tennessee? And you know what I mean?
And Texas.
I seen Texas was getting hammered too, and I was like, are you kidding me? I've never seen this before.
That's where you go to retreat. You don't get the weather.
Right? I'm telling you, it's crazy. I guess we can let's go ahead and move into the hot topics for this week. We don't really have a lot of hot topics, but we have some pretty good ones. Let's start first and foremost with a quick one. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry announced that they're expecting baby number 2. So congrats to them. They announced it on Valentine's Day. Just like his mother did with him when she was expecting Prince Harry. Princess Diana announced on Valentine's Day that she was expecting him. So congratulations to them. I know how sad they were about their miscarriage. So all good things. Hopefully a good, healthy pregnancy for her. I know they're still going through drama with the royal family. There's even more rumors now that the royal family is threatening to strip them of even more, their last kind of remaining royal family duties, I guess, and their last kind of remaining links, other than just completely stripping Prince Harry of his title. They're going to pretty much it's going to be everything but stripping him of his title, because supposedly they're doing an interview with Oprah. Well, Meghan is, and then Harry's going to make a small appearance, and then I guess that's quote unquote the last straw for them. So they're going to pretty much strip them of everything except for basically his title. So, yeah.
But do they really care though? I think it's been they've never really cared. Bro, y'all can have this. And we talked about it before. That lady is never going to forsake her grandson. So even if he's not official, he's still going to be well taken care of. So.
Yeah. And I honestly think that it's for the best for him. He really, from everything that we've seen, he really struggled with his mother's death in ways that I guess that even all the way up into he's in his 30s now, and he's still kind of struggling and grieving with how his mother died. And he literally said in an interview, he is fearful with the type of attention that his wife gets, that the same thing could happen to her. So if anything, it probably eases his mind more that, he doesn't have to do all that royal stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they were mean. Like, just reading some of like their news commentary, it's like, shit, okay.
Shit, they still mean. And she gone.
Yeah.
They still mean. And she gone. That's
like,
the part
we
that
should be doing this for them and be like, I mean, they ain't gonna cry. It's the thing is, like, they act like if they don't do it, then it's not gonna get done. Be like, these people are already rich. Whatever they want to have done, gonna get done.
Exactly. So outside of that, other quick hitters we got going. Let me see if anything else is quick. I don't think we got anything else quick. Oh, Meek Mill, Tekashi had a little run-in, I guess, outside the club. It happened like overnight. Supposedly Tekashi was waiting out. According to Meek, Tekashi was waiting outside the club for him. They had a little exchange. Meek recorded it because he said that, Tekashi the police. Tekashi said, I mean, how you going to talk about me running with police? You have police at whatever. Of course, it's then turned into this whole little thing online. People all have opinions about it. Well, Meek talk all this shit, but when he saw him, he didn't do nothing. Then other people saying, I mean, Tekashi the police. Why would he do anything?
Right, like. And I didn't even like when people was like, why Meek get security? Fuck, what? That was the last thing. He'd be like, why wouldn't he have security? I'm like, regular people get robbed, carjacked, and all this, and you think Meek Mill just gonna be like, you know what? Let me walk to my car in a garage after the club by myself.
Exactly.
No. Or with my homies that can't carry. He can't really carry, or they can't carry around him because he'll feel. No, boo boo, get you some license and security guard. Do it the right way. So that way, if something happens to you, they can blow their ass off and keep it moving. Ain't nobody listening to that bullshit. But I feel like this. Meek did right. Record his dumb ass and call it a day because he tried to make it a whole narrative to me that it wasn't. I'm like, I just don't like the way that they open the door for him.
Yeah, but at the same time, they opened the door for him. They can only blame themselves because a lot of them, prior to him getting on that stand and testifying, they was all Tekashi this, he the next one up, and they was all pushing for him and rooting for him. So, you know what I mean? It's like, you fed the devil, so.
Yeah, whole trash spot. And then he wrote up on me and said the nigga word. I'm like, see. And I like, man, that's how you know. It's a lot of restraint to that too. Like, just for that, just knock his fronts out.
Well, you know what though, I blame that on black folks. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say black folks in the North. I'm not gonna even say all black folks. I blame that on black folks in the North and some of y'all out there on the West Coast because y'all really, really, really have allowed his people. I'm gonna say the Latinx community to. Just because they live in y'all the same neighborhoods as y'all or whatever, that is okay for them to say the word nigga. I didn't see Asians who grow up out there in the Bay Area feel like they could say it. The Latinx community on the West Coast and up north feel like they can say it just because they grow up around y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and speak for everybody in the South. Y'all better keep that shit up though. Don't come out here with that. Don't do that.
Your whole fucking front grill.
Because we don't believe that down here. We don't play them games and we don't believe that down here. Down here, if you're not black, you don't need to say the N-word ever. Period. So it's that simple.
Facts. Like, this shit just irked me. I'm like, why do you be so comfortable with saying this shit?
Yeah. But that's how they got it up there. That's how I'm telling you. I literally have heard people from New York say, well, I mean, they from where we from, so they can what?
So
who said that?
Right. Insert the Real Housewives gift right there. Who said that? Well, that shit to do with it. Be like, no.
Absolutely not. All right, so let's go ahead and move to this is a pretty serious topic that kind of affects both you and I, being that we do live in Tennessee. Tennessee is proposing a new law that basically says that it will allow men who believe that they are fathers to seek a court injunction to prevent women from having an abortion. Now, the important facts to state in this law are that, in this proposed law, are that it does not stipulate that the men have to establish paternity first. They just have to believe that they are the father. Then they can bring you to court and get an injunction for you to have an abortion. So, one, they do not have to establish paternity. That's number one. Number two, it does not put any stipulations in place in the case of sexual assault, molestation, anything of that nature, any type of violent act towards from the man towards the woman. There's no stipulations for that. Thirdly, there are no stipulations in regards to after, if they do get the injunction to prevent the woman from having the abortion, there is no stipulations on whether the man will then be subjugated to have to take, sole custody, have to provide for the child, any type of support payments, any type of payment of the woman's medical bills, what will occur in case the woman dies or passes away, anything like that. All the law states is that if a man believes that he fathered the child, he can prevent you from having an abortion. And if you have the abortion, then you can be subjugated to jail time. What are your thoughts?
Oh, Lord Jesus. 2021, why we still going through this? So my thoughts are, I don't like for the fact that I'm trying to, it's bullshit, just put it out there, like no, trying to make it pretty or whatever. But abortion is a woman's right. It is her body. When you release your seed in her body, that was it. I'm like, I hate that. Oh, well, men don't have any type of control. You have all the control in the world. There are vasectomies, there are condoms. That's your control. Not to do it, not to have sex with a woman that doesn't want your child, that doesn't want children in the first place. Move along. Start having these conversations. And just for the fact that hey, I don't want to have your child. Y'all have all, if you want her to have the child, I don't, and it's just so fucking ass backwards, because that literally leaves that man off the hook of, okay, when you get here, more than likely, because a lot of times when dudes like, oh, I wanted my child, it's on some fucking manipulative as abusive bullshit. Like, let's just be honest. And it just leaves that, oh, you're not the father, and then you can just up and leave. No, since you wanted to say state claim and I can't get an abortion because it's my right, then come get your child. It doesn't stop right there, because I'm like, men do that. Oh, I told you to get an abortion and blah, blah, blah. You didn't do it. So, bloop, I'm gone.
Right.
So I don't like it. And I'm just sick of these conversations. They're held mostly by men. If not, it's in some cases all by men. And like I said, I just feel like in those cases, it's always used to manipulate women. And I can see that happening. Like, oh, well, it could be my baby. No, it could be. What you gonna do when the baby get here, since it could be yours? Then if you're saying, hey, you don't want me to get an abortion right now, at that point, you need to be signing papers that I don't even have to go to child support. I just need to be reporting them that I had a baby. Start these payments up, or you come get your child.
Right. And
plain and simple, like I hate that. And it's always the fucking South.
Always.
What the fuck? It's like, what is it? Like, I don't fucking get it. And it's like infuriating as fuck. And like I said, I just don't like that men feel like, oh, a woman just had all the power to make the decision. No, you make the decision what you wanted to do with your body. Now it's her decision to make what she wanted to do with her body.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you on that. I mean, it's like you said, it's simple biology. You have a choice. A man has a choice whether to lay down and sleep with the woman. Man has a choice whether to lay down and sleep with the woman unprotected. You know that if you take the risk of having unprotected sex with a woman that she could become pregnant. If she becomes pregnant, then the baby is carried and housed in her body. Unless, like I said, you are going to treat it as if she's like a surrogate. So she signs like a surrogate contract where you pay all her medical expenses, you pay all her bills, you take on the risk that if she passes away, paying for like her funeral expenses, her burial, so that her family doesn't have any type of harbor any type of expense due to her dying. If you're taking the full custody of the child, like those are the type of stipulations that if these men who are going to try to go as far as, like you said, it's just a manipulation tactic to try to manipulate and control women, then you need to do the proper laws and the proper stipulations, because I guarantee that if those items were introduced in there, if it said in there that if you file this injunction, regardless of one, if the baby turned out to be yours or not, that you would still be on the hook for having to pay the child support, having to pay the medical bills, having to take full custody of that child, I guarantee they wouldn't be pushing bullshit.
Maybe 1%, maybe 1%. And that's generous.
That's real generous. I personally think that while I don't think it will pass because I feel like it's too vague of a law, it just makes me sad, like you said, in 2021, that it's still even up on the table. Like, there are so many things that we can't even get up on the ballot and up on the table that make way more sense than this. And this type of asinine bill gets through so quickly is beyond the fuck out of me.
And it's like, but why we be arguing about birth control, though? Why we be arguing about food stamps and all this other shit? Healthcare.
Thank you.
And I'm like, and let's not even talk about like the after part after you give birth. That for most of us, we're pushed back into work in 6 weeks, if that. Because some women, like in little groups that I'm in, it's like, oh, well, I have to start pumping because I just gave birth to my child. I got to be back at work in 3 weeks. 3 weeks? Fuck.
Wow.
Like, I went back in 4 months and I'm still like, man, I needed a little more time.
Right.
And that was me working up until I gave birth. And that's because I'm like, oh, well, I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. Now I know that wasn't even a smart decision. Like, girl, you should have went out at 37 weeks.
Right.
So it's just like all of this stuff, you know, like it adds up as far as your expenses. And especially if you have a job that's not the best. I'm like, it's just so happened that I was in a better position than most people that I feel so bad. I'm like, I shouldn't even really be complaining. But at the same time, like, you need more time. I'm like, just to establish your emotions and all this. And y'all want to introduce a bill that has nothing in regards to the health, the welfare of the woman, and even the child, to be honest.
Facts. Like, they don't have to establish. That's the thing. That's why I said that I fully don't think that this law will pass because it's way too vague. It doesn't have any actual, like, you know what I mean? Like, any type of real criteria in there. Just a man can say, oh, I think that's my baby, so no, you can't get an abortion. The fuck? You don't even have, I mean, it doesn't even have ground lines where they have to establish paternity. Like, what kind of sense does that make? That should have been the first. If you was going to try to write some bullshit type bill like that, that should have been the first item in the fucking agenda.
You're like, so who gonna take care of this child?
Thank you. And then again, it doesn't stipulate anywhere in there if they haven't established a paternity. What happens if the baby isn't his? You know what I'm saying? So does he get to just walk away after you force this woman to have the child?
That you knew damn well one chose. And just imagine how many like bitter ass exes. Oh, Lord Jesus.
Exactly. A whole mess. A whole complete mess. All right. So let's move on from that and let's move into some other. Basically, I mean, we're coming off of Valentine's Day, and there's been a lot of love talk lately on many different ways, on many different forms. We'll start off I'll say it the simplest. We'll start off the simplest one, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we'll start with Plies. Plies just did a whole little thing about plastic surgery, and he was saying that he doesn't understand. He feels like women should just be happy with the bodies that they're blessed with, because he said the truth of the matter is that the only men that really look for that are ugly men with money. They are the only ones who require or demand perfection, and that's just because they've never actually been with a bad chick in their life. So that's why they look for kind of the perfect, made up plastic surgery bodies. Of course, you had a lot of people co-signing it. Then you had some people saying that he shouldn't be in women's business. What are your thoughts?
First of all, I feel like if you want plastic surgery and you are with a healthy mindset, do you, boo-boo? When you start putting women with imperfect bodies in videos, then I listen to you. I'm just going to be flat out honest. I like Plies. A lot of stuff that he says to me, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But until you start celebrating these women out open in public and out loud, I can't rock with you. Like, I can't rock with you like, oh, this man don't want. And some men, and it may not be necessarily the surgery. It may just be the look of the surgery. And not everybody that gets a BBL or, look like an ant. A lot of people do because they go overboard. But yeah, I just feel like that's something he shouldn't talk about. Because, that's personal to that woman. And I also want to say this as well. A lot of times women get plastic surgery. It ain't got nothing to do with men. Like, I hate that notion that, they got plastic surgery just to appeal to men. Some women get plastic surgery because, look, I want a flat stomach, or I don't like the way my stomach looks, or in some cases, I had a baby. I used to have a flat stomach before I had a baby, and I want a flat stomach now after I had a baby.
Agree.
So I just hate that notion that everything we do is for a man's approval or attention.
Facts. I actually agree with you on that notion that I'm sick of this narrative that women who get plastic surgery that is just to appease men, because 99% of the time, like you said, it has absolutely nothing to do with men. It's just simply the fact that I don't like something about my body and I want to change it. And more power to you, sis. If you got the coins, you do it the right way. Do you, boo-boo? Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you don't like your tummy, change that shit. If you don't like your arms, change that shit. Okay? Do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's your body. It's your prerogative, and you have the right to do that. I also agree with you on the notion of, I like Plies. I do. I like, I'm with you. I like some of the things he said. And this would have, and I'll say this, what he's saying is a nice sentiment. And it's one of those things like in a perfect world, sure, that would be the truth and that would make sense. But let's be honest. We don't live in a perfect world. We don't live with rose-colored glasses on. And the truth of the matter is that that's just not the case. Regardless of the men's status, how the man looks, whether he got money or don't got money, there's plenty of dudes who, if they can get the girl with the perfect big old booty with the little tiny waist and the nice little perky boobs, they gonna take that chick. That's just what it is. So to keep lying to women with this sentiment of we love you regardless of how you this and that and the other woo woo. Let's be honest. Pretty people go far. Pretty people get a lot in this world. That's just facts. I'm sorry. Whether we want to lie about it and tell the truth, we don't live in a perfect world. People value appearance a lot. Let's be honest. And the prettier the person is, the seemingly there is a such thing as pretty privilege. They do get things based on their looks. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with it. Never take anything away from anybody like that. But facts are facts. So so like I said, the sentiment is nice, but it's just not the truth. And so, like you said, as long as a woman, a man, whoever, as long as you are doing the plastic surgery, like you said, with a healthy mindset, it's for you, it's what you want to do, then do whatever the fuck you want. And let's stop listening to these folks,
Yeah. I definitely agree. Listen, I'm like Cardi. I got lipo money.
Speak on it, okay? Listen. Don't let me save up the coins and fuck the gym, bitch. Okay?
Listen, I'm like, I want my arms done.
Alright, so that kind of leads us into this second one. Miss B. Simone. So she decided to go on a rant about manifesting love. And it was the same. Oh, now I have seen pick me thrown around way too often now that almost I feel like I don't want to use it. But in certain instances, the shit does apply.
It's relevant.
And in regards to B. Simone, it is extremely relevant. Because she just went on the pick-me-ish rant of all time. And you knew it was a pick-me rant because Tyrese ass decided to co-sign it. That right there alone should have told you it was a pick-me.
Like, let me delete this.
That should have been enough to know, sis, this not it. You in the wrong direction here. Mm-hmm. As soon as Tyrese started caping for you, that should have been it. But at the end of the day, she got what she wanted, which was the male gaze, the male attention, the male approval. That's what pick-me's want. The male attention, the male approval, the male gaze, the male audience. So she got that. But basically she went on to say that women have these big old long lists of requirements that they want out of a man, and half the time or most of the time they don't even meet the same requirements. You need to be on the same level that you looking for, and this, that, and the other. Basically, like I said, some whole pick-me ass garbage. But I'm assuming you heard the rant or you've seen bits and pieces of it. What are your thoughts?
I tried to like her. When I say try, I try so hard to like her. But it was definitely pick me. And I hate those women that get in a relationship and then they turn into like relationship gurus or
speak on
like it. I've always been like, you ain't never, I don't know. I'm not going to say you ain't never dated your potential or you didn't ever have like a bad dating history or you didn't pick a bad guy or you weren't compatible with this person or something like that. But onto her rant. I don't like how people talk like when people like, well, you're a woman, you should do this, because I'm like, research has shown your speech and what you're saying, it's not adding up. Women are leading in every facet of life. On business ownership, entrepreneurship, education, money, it's not adding up. Women seek counseling before men. So I'm like, she was like, well, you don't talk to your family. There's not anything wrong with not talking to your family if you have set those healthy boundaries and saying, listen, the things that she said that I'm like, I don't want women to take and be like, oh, if I'm not in good with my family. No, if you know your family is going to take you down that road, boo-boo, stay where you at. Stay in your peace. Stay in your lane. Like I said, I just didn't like it was like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? You want this man to be fit, but you're not fit. And then it goes, and then, you see the comments that basically you fat shaming, or it goes into body shaming. It's like, just because someone is healthy, it does not mean that they're not fit. And let's be honest, I've dated a lot of men when I wasn't even in the gym that was fit as fuck. And they didn't want nobody that looked like them. Because I'm like, you don't go to the gym, right? And they was like, I'm fine with it. I like soft and plush. I'm like, well, that's what you gonna get, soft and plush. And I'm full of snacks. So I'm like, people like what they like. So I'm like, all of these things that's like, oh, well, you need to have this, you need to have this. I'm like, a lot of times, even when we think about men, I'm like, they don't require that. You're speaking for, and they don't require it. I'm like, even wealthy men, be like, most of them see it as like in the circles of the wealthy men that I've hung around, no, they see that it's like an accomplishment to be able to take care of their family, their woman.
Right.
Now, if you got money, oh, that's an extra, but I ain't asking you. It's, hey, I saw you, you know what I'm saying? You look nice to me. I want to date you. Let's go from here. I'm ready to take care of you. So I'm like, it's just, yeah, I don't like her vibes. Like, oh, I'm in a relationship now. This is what I did to manifest. Look, bitch, no, you didn't. You looked up. Because if Drake would have come along and got your ass, you would have been ready to ride with him. So shut the fuck up.
Factuals. So for me, it's like B. Simone just rubbed me the wrong way from the whole the 9 to 5, then to the whole where she was basically praising Dan and Lee for being Latina and landing the baby over her. Like, it, she has been rubbing me the wrong way multiple times. But I am 100% with you and 100% agree with. I hate the fact that the moment a woman gets a man, ain't had that man for 3 seconds, ain't been in a healthy relationship for more than one vacation, but she turned into a whole relationship guru and tell you as another woman what it is that you're supposed to do, in order to keep a man and get a man and blah, 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 blah. The best advice that I ever got about love was plain and simple. One, that there is no playbook. There is no set standard for how to find love, get love, maintain love. What works for him, her, them, and do is not going to work for you because y'all are not the same people. What's meant for them is meant for them, and what's meant for you is meant for you. So, you know what I mean? However they manage to manifest or get love in their life, it happened because that's the way that it was supposed to happen for them. It's not going to work the same way for you. So you trying to follow somebody's quote unquote playbook or do the same thing that they did is not going to equate to the same results for you. And then the second best advice that I heard, and this came straight from a dude, was that dudes like pussy. Whether, you know what I'm saying? And that's if let me take for that to kind of add in there. It obviously, if that is their sexual preference. So if they are heterosexual man and they prefer women, then yes, they like pussy. Obviously, if they have other sexual orientations, then there's other caveats to that. But we're just going to speak from the heterosexual standpoint. Men like pussy. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of fat, skinny, tall, big booty, little booty, titty, boo, they like pussy. So I in this notion that you have to, quote unquote, as they say, be at the same level or status or come to the table, it's bullshit and it's lies. Because we, like you said, it's not adding up. The fact sheets is not adding up. Okay, I seen strippers running around with ballers. I seen a crackhead on the street with a fine ass nigga on her arm. So it don't add up out here in these streets. Okay? The facts are is if it's your time and love find you, then it find you. So stop listening to these quote unquote little relationship gurus trying to tell you this and that, because the facts are, what I have come to notice is, one, that it's something that's only imposed on women. I don't see this happening amongst, I don't see men even think about shit like this. Men really don't give a fuck. Men will just date however they want to date, whoever they want to date, and they don't give a fuck or have to feel like they have to justify anything. They just do whatever the fuck they want to when it comes to dating. And I feel like women need to get to the space where they do the same thing. The problem is the reason women can't get to that space is because other women feel like they have to impose these quote unquote rules on other women just because they feel like, well, I had to follow those. No, I mean, you chose to follow those rules. That's your business.
Right.
Be up out of mine. Okay? Stay out of what I do. I'm telling you, I'm tired of it. And the second part that really bugs me the most is, and I'm going to speak because I'm a black woman, you're a black woman, and let's be honest, that's who the majority of our audience is, and that's who we speak to. I feel like a lot of it comes to play at hindering and almost checking and putting black women in their place. You know what I mean? Like, it's like y'all come up with all these rules in ways that Black women have to be and exist in a way to kind of control us and to put us in our place. And I'm sorry, boo-boo, leave us the fuck alone. Let us do what we want to do. Let us be able to live life like every other woman is able to do. Nobody says anything to white women who social climb, because that's what this is about. White women are allowed to aspire to, and we've talked about this on previous episodes where we talk about that's why white kids are introduced to like country clubs and fancy prep schools and this and that and the other. They are encouraged to social climb. Black women, it's looked down upon on us. And the sad part is why? Because like you said, we leading in education, we leading in starting businesses, we leading in getting to the bag. So why is it discouraged for us to want to search for wealth, to want to create wealth amongst ourselves and our families? Fuck that. Do whatever you want to do. That's my
listen. I'm like, y'all be having your white women move to towns to marry somebody in the military.
Okay.
Don't do that, boo-boo. Like, don't do that. Go to certain schools, be in certain sororities to make sure that they have upper mobility. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, no. And I'm like, even the whole idea of marriage, it didn't come from just love. It's like, hey, we this rich family, we're going to marry out this rich family. We're going to do it together. So that way we keep assets running.
Okay. Listen, all I'm saying is stop imposing all these fucking rules on other women, other Black women in particular. Like, stop trying to control us. Leave us the fuck alone. Let us live our lives as we see fit. And to all women out there, live your life as you see fit. Stop allowing other women to impose these fucking rules on you, because I promise you, there are no rules. There is no rule book. Men do not live by that shit. Like I said, there's a crackhead on the street right now who homeless as fuck but got a fine ass nigga who love her. Just know that. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's get to our final hot topic. And this one is about Sierra and Russell Wilson. Now, you said they sat down and they did an interview, correct? And he was talking about his marriage and about his... I mean, they were basically talking about their marriage and about how he wants to kind of stay in love and how they keep their marriage solid. And there was something that he said in regards to that. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was just like an interview. And he said one of his biggest fears was, well, Sierra said something else. And I forget what it was. Was it losing a football game? It was something. But he said his biggest fear was losing his wife. And the Ashies and the other misogynistic women have had a whole fucking field day with this man. And I don't know what it is about Russell Wilson that gets all this flack. Like, and I'm not even going to say Russell Wilson. Sierra as well. Like, I don't like the notion that, oh, she's of low value, because I have seen that bullshit. Because she had a child with Future, or somehow she chose a thug over Russell. I'm like, was Russell even on her radar when she was with Future? And who said Future treated her bad? I'm like, that's what y'all get. Like, y'all, it's so many men that talk about, oh, she chose a street dude because you've been jaded. She does not deserve less love because she was with Future before she was with Russell.
X.
And I'm like, she was in the music industry young. Who else was she supposed to fucking date?
Okay, big fix.
Like, it's just weird as shit. Like, people calling him a shimp because he said he was afraid to lose his wife. I'm like, why are y'all with somebody that you're, I don't know. Like, people like, well, I would never tell my wife I'm afraid of losing her. Why the fuck not?
Why not?
Why are you with somebody that I was like, I am, like, the thought of me losing my spouse because like, it's frightening to me. Like, it makes me sad where I'm like, maybe one day he'll be on this earth and I won't be here with him. Like, not even just so much as like physically him leaving. That makes me upset as well. I was like, why would I marry this person? It's like, oh, I'm not going to be upset if I lose them. No one said that, oh, his world is supposed to end, but that's one of his fears. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right.
I'm like, is it because y'all, one of y'all uncles that y'all mama was with didn't like? What is it? What's wrong? Like, I really just want to know, like, why are y'all so up in arms about this? Every time he says something about his love or how he admires or love his wife, it just sends these ashy Negroes on a field day. Like, why he chose and Sierra was this. I'm like, Sierra was not damaged goods. Like, what the fuck? Like, I seen one dude call her hoe, and I'm like, hell. I'm like, when you think about her dating history, you only know what Bow Wow, 50, Future, and Russell.
That's it.
That's it. Like, and the only reason why you know them is because she was in the industry. They're celebrities as well. So how does that calculate? Like, how make it make sense? And the math's not working out for me.
Not at all. Not at all. You know, I feel like it just comes down to the fact that a lot of them feel like, because they view Russell as the corny dude who got over on Future, supposedly, like you said, the street dude who got all the clout, who the rapper with all the girls and blue, 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 blue. But like you said, the facts are what the facts are. Future fucked that up. He fumbled that bag. He fumbled Sierra, and Russell picked up and loves her. You can't be mad at that man for that. Period. That's all. I mean, it's that simple. He loved his wife. That's what you're supposed to do. When you get married, you're supposed to love the person you with. I think that's a lot of y'all problems. Y'all choose a spouse because society tells y'all being married is the thing to do and boo boo. But in all actuality, you don't really fucking like the person. And I feel like a lot of y'all don't like the people y'all with because y'all be too busy sitting down with single people. Man, I miss the single life. You need to stay single as long as possible. You shouldn't feel like that if you married. Like, you should be happy to be in love and be with your spouse. Like, that should be a good time for you. Like, that should be your homie, your best friend. Like, y'all should be clowning on niggas together. Like, I don't understand.
You folks still be out here be married, talking about bros up hoes. How, sir?
How? Right?
Like, I'm not like, I mean, we know the analogy, like not calling that person's wife hoe, but it's like, so you know that you it's just weird to me. And I'm like, these be the same men that will go and be like, I can't do this for my spouse. But let your homeboy call you. And you get up 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, sir, you should be with him. Love him.
Actually.
That's who you like. Like, it's just, yeah, like every time I see that, I'm like, y'all are weird. Like, people are like, well, he is a shimp because he's on here telling. And somebody made the comparison, which was a good one. I'm like, why y'all ain't say that about Lauren London? Because she was with Wayne. It's because she got with another dude that y'all figure street when she got with Nip. She had a baby with him, and he quote unquote loved her, or you know, like.
Listen.
So what's the difference?
Right? Is it because they wasn't actually joined and married? Like, I'm with them. What is the difference between those relationships? Y'all respected Nip when he was with Lauren, like you said. She was with Wayne right before that. So what is the difference? Y'all didn't disrespect, and Nip loved Lauren to death. You know what I'm saying? Always talked about Boogie like that. So I'm with him. What's the difference?
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, y'all, help me understand.
Yeah. Different standards, I guess. Different standards. All right, so that is enough of Hot Topics today. We're going to go ahead and quickly move into the relationship portion of the show. Let's get it started. Do you want me to kick off, or are you going to go first?
I'll go first because I think you got a good question.
Okay, go for it.
So my question is, where's the statement first? Women break up mentally before they break up physically. Do you think it's true or false?
I say true. I feel like that's a really simple one. That's absolutely true. I feel like we've said that multiple times on here on the show, is that once I mentally kind of check out of the relationship, I mean, we pretty much done. All I have to do is be done with you physically. Then I don't even. Who are you? Huh? Next call. You know what I mean? Like I'm 100%. Once I check out mentally, we basically over. Like you said, all it is the last little physical contact. Might get my last little hunch session in, whatever. Boop, boop, boop. It's over. We done. So I fully 100% agree with that statement. Women definitely check out mentally first, and then physically, and then we done.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm with you. I agree. Like that mental, when that mental is gone, like, bro, you just with a zombie at that point. It's just like she bidding her time to do whatever it is that she needs to do to float on.
Right.
And I think that's the reason why, like, a lot of women as well, once we break up, if we gone mentally, that's it. Be like, bro, she just walked past me like this motherfucker ain't never seen me before in her life. Hey, how you be like, didn't y'all used to talk? Who? Talk to who? I don't even know that.
Hey, like you said, insert that Kiki Palmer. Sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man. Be like, I don't know him. And it makes it, and I think it makes it easier. I just wish, like, I'll just kind of off topic, that we get to that point sooner. But yeah, I will say that, like, once that mental, that's it, bro. Like you said, I might hunt you because, like, I don't want to add to my number, but I want to get my feet wet right quick, and I'm gonna do that, and then I'll move on, and that's it.
Don't call me, don't text me. I don't know you. All right. So my question this week is pretty simple, straightforward question. Do you believe in love at first sight?
The hopeless romantic that I am want to say yes, but no, because I'm a cynic too. Like, I say no. And the reason why I say no is because I feel like you have to grow to that point. Like, maybe infatuation, like I like the way this person look, I like the way that they make me feel, but no. It's just a no.
Okay. So for me, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I actually do believe in love at first sight. I think it's rare, but I do believe that it can happen. And that goes along with the fact that I've said multiple times in the show, I don't believe in growing in love. Like, I feel like if it's there, it's there. If it's not, like, I don't think that you can grow into loving somebody. Like, I feel like you either gonna love that person, you gonna feel it. Like, I don't feel like it's just like a feeling that you can make happen over a certain amount of time. At least I've never been able to do it. It's never worked for me. Any type of relationship I've ever been in where I've tried to force it, it don't work. So it's either there or it's not. So that's why I believe that in love at first sight, I do think it's rare. I think it's super rare that somebody that you feel that for, when you first see them, that y'all actually end up together or be in a relationship together. But I think it can happen. But I just think it's a rare occasion. So those are my takes on it. Yeah, super quick relationship this week. Let's go ahead and quickly jump into like new music, books, TV, any type of reviews or anything like that you want to get off your chest.
So I tried to watch Malcolm and Marie. I didn't like it. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It wasn't I don't know. I didn't like it. And I feel like maybe part of me was triggered as well. Because the way that he talked to her, I'm like, girl, he wouldn't be able to talk to me like that. Talk bad back to him. And she was just sitting in the tub. And I'm like, fuck. I do agree with you that I don't know why it was set in black and white. And maybe that's another reason why I had an issue with it. I don't like movies in black and white. Like, I don't like old movies.
Right.
That are in black and white. So I'm like, maybe that was my issue. Because I'm like, I still don't understand the reason about it when they had all these contemporary, like, mentions in the movies, like emojis and Spike Lee. It's like, why was it in black and white?
Thank you. I agree.
So yeah, and it was a little slow. I don't know if it was for the same, you felt the same way, but it was just a little slow for me. I'm like, I don't know. Like,
it was exhausting.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna try, but like I said, I will say a part of it was probably like I was a little triggered by like he was talking back to her and she wasn't talking back to him back. And I don't know. And I didn't like Zendaya in it. I'm sorry. I wanted to like it really bad, but I didn't like her in it either as well. And I will say with John David Washington, you could tell he's Denzel's son.
They do have similar mannerisms, yeah?
Yeah. Like, you can tell, like, and maybe that was what it is. I'm like, I figured, like, and not, like, I love Zendaya. I think she's a good actor, but she didn't match his tenacity for me. Like, even her sadness or something, it just didn't match. Even when she kind of, like, get mad or upset, it just didn't match his tenacity because he has that Denzel Washington. Like, if you listen, like, I could close my eyes and be like, this sounds like Denzel Washington in Training Day. So, yeah. But other than, like, I might, but it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was definitely an exhausting film to get through. And I fully agree with you that, like I said, that black and white did nothing, added nothing to it. Like, that was I left the movie wondering, why did y'all do this in black and white? It added nothing. It should have 100%. I feel like if it would have been in color too, that would have maybe gave it at least some type of oomph to help to get through because it's basically one big long ass argument, so it's fairly exhausting to kind of watch and get through. But I mean, like I said, it does lend to a lot of questions that we face as people when it comes to love. So that was kind of my only takeaway from it, but it definitely was an exhausting fucking movie.
Okay. I'm happy I went down. I was like, but when you said like last week, it was like, I don't know why I was in black and white. And when I saw it, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, why did they do this? I'm like, and there's just a mention. And then I thought, I was like, well, maybe they made a mistake when they mentioned Spike Lee. But then they mentioned, emojis. And I'm like, nah, this wasn't no fucking mistake. So why is this movie in black and white?
Exactly. Like, it doesn't match the feel because they talk, like you said, they talk about so many contemporary things, and even just kind of what they do. Him being the movie creator, film student, her being like the model, like, you know what I mean? The mood of it doesn't match black and white.
I'm happy I went down and get out there because I was like, this is bullshit. I'm going to cut this off.
Yeah. I will say I think that it will be worth getting to the end of it if you can force yourself to kind of watch through the end, just so you can kind of grasp the concepts of, like I said, it's definitely not a love story. I think that it's just for you to kind of formulate. It's a story about love for you to kind of formulate what type of love is this. And as the audience, the person who's watching, I think it's just up to you to kind of decide. What do you think this is? Do you think they love each other? Do you think that their love is toxic? Do you think they're codependent? Shit, I had all them things. I told you at the end of it, I was left with the question, do these motherfuckers even like each other? Because shit, at this point, I don't think they like each other. Okay? Because I'm with you. Like, when he was talking to her in the tub and he was naming Keisha, Tisha, LaRonda, I was like, oh, a word? It's what we doing.
Okay. Like, that's cool.
My feelings was hurt for her. Shit. Anything else on any type of movies or anything like that? TV you checked out?
Nothing else that I checked out.
Okay. All right, so on my end, I checked out Judas and the Black Messiah on HBO Max. Obviously, it's on HBO Max, and it's also playing in theaters, but more than likely, most people have, if they watched it on HBO Max. So I will say that I agree with a lot of the criticisms that came with this movie. I loved it. First of all, let me say I like Lakeith, and I love Daniel. but I think that they were both too old to play in this movie. Obviously, the reason I say that is because the character that Lakeith plays is supposed to be Bill O'Neill was 19 years old when he infiltrated the Black Panthers, and Fred Hampton was only 21 when he was assassinated and murdered by the government. So, and when you go and when you sit down and you watch the film, at first you think, because obviously these two they're both really good actors, tremendous actors, but you think that age wouldn't matter, but you lose, in my opinion, with them being as old as they are and not having young men play them. You lose the essence of one, what part of what Bill's motivation was, because at the end of the movie, I watched through the whole movie and I still left thinking, why the fuck did he do this? Like, what reason did you have to set this man up? You knew him. You knew what he was about. You were starting to buy into the things that he was preaching, the things that he was teaching, along with the Black Panthers organization. Even after you had him assassinated, you helped the government assassinate him, you still stayed in the Black Panthers, which tells me that you bought into what they were talking about. So why the fuck did you do this? And I feel like it loses some of the essence because of how old they, Lakeith and Daniel are. You don't get to see the youth in it all. You don't get to see, Fred Hampton, like I said, he was a 21-year-old man. He basically started in the Black Panthers when he was in his teenagers, and he, you know what I mean? Like, you don't get to see the youth of it, to see that he was really a young man that they harbored. Public enemy number one was so dangerous that they felt like they had to assassinate. And with Bill O'Neill, you lose knowing that he was 19 would have helped you, and seeing like a young man play him would have helped you to kind of understand his motivation when the FBI pulled him in and was like, you're going to face 5 to 20 years for or 5 to 10 for impersonating, an FBI agent, and another 2 to 5 for trying to steal a car if you don't do this for us. And you don't really get to see how apathetic he was in the beginning about politics. He didn't care about Martin and Malcolm and them being assassinated. He was apathetic. He didn't want to go to jail. Like, there were so many things that, in my opinion, it would have helped if they were younger actors playing. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, Daniel and Lakeith are great actors. They did a good job for what they were handed with, but I just feel like it lost some of the essence because of the age difference. I feel like if they were younger actors, it would have made it more impactful, and I would have felt it more. I will say that it does, as a Black person, it just makes you even more angry when it comes to, the government, and just seeing how they played a part in the assassination of a lot of our greatest minds and some of our biggest revolutionaries. It also makes you question and think if they played, just seeing the way that the links and the way that they set him up, it makes you wonder if they played a part in, setting up Malcolm X. We've all seen the reports that they did play, the CIA played a part in the assassination of Martin Luther King. So, just different aspects. It also reminds you of, we've all heard the stories of Larry Hoover, but it really just hammers home how much of a racist asshole he was. And the fact that he held such a high position in our government just doesn't sit right in my spirit,
Yeah, definitely trash. I'm gonna watch it. That's actually on my next up list.
Okay.
So I'll definitely be watching it.
All right. So once you check it out, once Falan DeAnn checks it out, she'll come back and we'll kind of compare notes and see what she kind of thinks, and see if she has some of the similar takeaways or some different takeaways.
Yeah. Hopefully it's better than Memory.
Then you've heard.
No, I've actually heard good things about the movie. So I'm actually excited to see it. I be have to get my mind right for them movies because I be on a whole nother deep end. Like, Chad, y'all get me fucked up.
Yeah. It definitely fucks with your mind a little bit. Like I said, to see the lengths that their government went to assassinate this, because that's exactly what it was. It was 100% an assassination. Like, the lengths that they went was fucking pathetic, and it leaves you with a disgusting taste in your mouth. But I will say that, like I said, I wish, because I know that they had trouble because they initially was supposed to be a Fred Hampton biopic, but then when they found out that someone else had acquired the rights to do Fred's biopic, they changed the story to focus more on Bill O'Neill. And I get it, in concept, it makes a lot of sense, and it's not a bad concept, but I just feel like I didn't leave with the end of the movie knowing, like I said, I didn't leave knowing why he did it. I feel like they didn't convey strong enough what the fuck his motivations was. Like, I feel like now I have to go and watch his documentary just to kind of know what the fuck. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. But I'll leave it to you to decide after you watch.
All
right. Anything else on your end?
Nothing else for me.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the nerd moment of the week. This one is going to be a fairly quick nerd moment, just about 2 or 3 different things. First and foremost, I will say, I told you a couple weeks ago that Wondergirl was in the process of getting a show on the CW. It has now been the woman who was writing it and who was set to produce it has now said that the CW is no longer moving forward with the Wondergirl project. She said she's really sad about it. She said she felt like she wrote an amazing script, and it would have been nice to see an indigenous Latinx superhero character on the screen. I would have loved to see it as well, but unfortunately, it is not moving forward. So maybe sometime in the future on some other network we'll get to kind of see that. Also, I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that I watched the Winx Fate Saga on Netflix. It has been confirmed that they have been greenlit for a season 2. So even though I didn't enjoy it, if you did, then you'll be getting a season 2, so you can check that out as well. WandaVision, obviously episode 6 aired last Friday. On that episode, we were formally introduced to Wiccan and Speed's powers. Wiccan and Speed, if you don't know, are Wanda and Vision's children. They're twins. Finally kind of get to see Speed really in his element, similar to his uncle Pietro, who's Quicksilver. You get to see Wiccan for the first time. Spoiler alert, he hears his father Vision as Vision is kind of breaking out of the little barrier that Wanda has set up, and all of the soldiers are there trying to grab him before Wanda stops that from occurring. It was a really, really good episode. Again, WandaVision is really kind of picking up speed. I don't want to give too many spoilers because these last couple of episodes are really kind of, I want to say, packing the most punch. They're really kind of giving you the most information in regards to the show. So I'll try my hardest in these recaps not to give you too many spoilers and kind of let you watch it and then give you a big whole thing at the end. But it was a really, really, really good episode, and I encourage you to, if you're not caught up, get caught up, because we only got 2 more episodes to go. And the last thing I want to touch on is there's a show on the CW that's called Legacies. It's based on, if you ever watched the Vampire Diaries or the originals. I'm only bringing this up just because they recently had an episode called Salvatore the Musical, where they basically it was like a musical episode, and it was based on some of the characters. They were basically putting on a musical based on some of the stuff that we saw on the Vampire Diaries and the originals, etc., etc. I'm only bringing this up because I feel like I just wish, and I cannot wait till the day that Julie Plec gets her come to the table moment and gets dragged for the filth that she is. Because per usual, Bonnie Bennett, if you guys ever watched the Vampire Diaries, you know she played a big part in that show. But she was a Black woman. She's played by a Black woman. She was a Black character. And for years, there's been rumors about the mistreatment of Black characters, and particularly Black women, by Julie Plec in her TV shows and her series. This was just another kind of slap in the face, and another way that we kind of got to see that when they did Legacies, the musical, there was no mention of Bonnie at all. It was almost as if she didn't play any type of integral role. It was like basically a complete erasure of one of the only, well, let me say, not even say one of, the only person of color, only Black person on the whole Vampire Diaries show. So it was like a complete erasure of her character, as if she didn't exist. And it just disgusted me. And I just cannot wait until Julie Plec gets her come to the table moment and gets dragged for filth. And people stop giving her fucking shows, because she does not deserve it. Her mistreatment of Black people and Black women in general is legendary within the industry. And I can't wait until she gets her just due, in all honesty. And that's my little rant. But that is it for me for the nerd moment of the week. Anything else on your end, Falan DeAnn?
Nothing else for me.
All right, so then per usual, we want to thank you guys so much for listening and tuning in. And we will talk to you guys next week. Goodbye, guys.
Good night.